The greatest lie we are taught is that the world operates on kindness and love. The painful truth is, your goodness is not a shield. We are raised on a fundamental assumption. If you are kind, the world will be kind in return. We build our laws, our schools, and our systems on the belief that bad behavior is simply a result of bad circumstances. This is the foundation of our moral naivety. But let us run a simulation. Visualize a table in a locked room. There are two men. There is a limited amount of bread. The moral man believes in the shared contract. He takes his portion, breaks it in half, and slides it across the table. He signals cooperation. He projects his own morality onto the stranger. He assumes the man across from him plays by the same rules. The man across the table is not playing the same game. He is the parasite. When the parasite sees the bread slide across the table, he does not feel gratitude. He does not feel the urge to reciprocate. He sees data. He sees that his opponent is willing to weaken himself to police a moral ideal that does not exist in nature. The parasite eats the gift and waits. This is the fatal moment. The moral man looks at the silence and feels guilt. He tells himself, he isn't greedy. He's just desperate. He's had a hard life. So he slides the rest of his own meal across the table. He doesn't just share. He apologizes for having bread in the first place. He thinks his sacrifice will fix the broken man. He believes that if he gives everything, the parasite will finally learn to give back. But a parasite never learns to share. It simply grows stronger. This is the cancer of our system. We have created a society that mandates we feed the things that consume us. We call it tolerance. We call it empathy. But in a closed system, blind morality is not a virtue. It is a suicide pact. How does this dinner table metaphor scale to a civilization? We assume that in a democracy, or any open system, the best ideas win. We assume that the moral man rises to the top because the crowd desires goodness. This is the second lie. A system based on popularity does not select for competence. It does not select for morality. It selects for seduction. Let us look at the mechanics of the vote. Imagine two candidates standing before a starving crowd. The bakery is empty. Candidate A is the moral man. He respects the crowd enough to tell them the truth. He says, "There is no bread, we have eaten it all. If I give you more today, we will have nothing for the winter. We must suffer now to survive later." Candidate B is the parasite. He has no intention of solving the famine. He only intends to feed on the applause. He says, "The bread is yours by right. You are hungry because the baker is hiding it from you. Give me power, and I will break down his door and feed you." Who wins? The moral man offers a hard truth that requires sacrifice. The parasite offers a beautiful lie that costs nothing. In a system driven by emotion, the moral man loses 100% of the time. This creates a selection filter. Over time, the system actively purges honest people. The moral man looks at the game, realizes he must become a liar to win, and refuses to play. He retreats to his private life. The only people left fighting for control are those capable of lying without blinking. We end up with a hierarchy of the worst. We didn't get here by accident. We got here because we, the crowd, chose the man who promised to feed us the impossible, rather than the man who told us the table was empty. Once the parasite secures power, the strategy shifts. He no longer needs to promise bread. He has the keys to the bakery. Now, his only goal is to silence those who notice he is eating it all. To do this, he performs a psychological inversion. He turns your own morality into a weapon against you. In a healthy system, the immune system, the laws, the police, the cultural standards, targets the criminal. It targets the one who takes without giving, but the parasite changes the definition of good. He convinces the moral man that noticing the theft is an act of cruelty. If you point out that the table is empty, you are not called observant. You are called selfish. If you try to protect what is yours, you are not called prudent. You are called hateful. The parasite knows the moral man's weakness, his desperate need to be seen as good. So the parasite creates a new social contract. To be a good person, you must allow yourself to be consumed. You must tolerate the intolerable. If you resist, you prove that you are the villain. This is the final stage of the cancer. The society begins to attack its own healthy cells to protect the tumor. The moral man, terrified of being labeled bad, lowers his defenses completely. He apologizes for his own survival. He invites the infection in, believing that his submission is a form of virtue. But nature has no interest in your virtue. Nature only cares about survival. And a civilization that values niceness over survival will not leave descendants to tell its story. So what is the solution? When you realize the bakery is empty and the parasites are in charge, the natural reaction is despair. You might think the only option is to become a parasite yourself, to lie, to cheat, to steal before it's all gone. But that is a surrender of the self. There is a third option. It is the philosophy of armed virtue. Game theory solves this problem with a strategy called tit for tat. It is the only mathematical strategy that defeats the parasite without becoming one. The rule is simple. 1. Cooperate first. 2. If betrayed, retaliate immediately. You must kill the naive moral man inside you, the one who apologizes for his own existence. You must stop projecting your goodness onto people who are incapable of it. When you sit at the table, you share the bread once. If the man across from you reciprocates, you build a civilization together. But if he takes without giving, you do not offer more. You do not explain. You do not apologize. You close the gate. True morality is not being harmless. A harmless man is not good. He is just a victim in waiting. True morality is having the capacity to be dangerous, to stop the parasite, but choosing to keep that sword sheathed until it is necessary. You cannot fix the system. The cancer has spread too deep. The selection filter is already set. But you can build an inner citadel. You can refuse to feel guilt for protecting what is yours. You can refuse to feed the things that hate you. And you can refuse to apologize for the strength it takes to say no. The table is set. The bread is scarce. Stop inviting the wolf to dinner. If you are ready to leave the naive world behind and build your own defense, subscribe to the archive. The signal is faint, but it is there for those who listen.